Introduction to selector editor, PDF automation and PDF activities. So today we are going to learn new topics. So I request our resource person Shubhra ma'am to start the today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to our today's session number 4. And in this session, we are going to see about how we can automate Word and Excel files, right? So in our yesterday session, we have already covered how we can automate our PDF files, and in this session, we are going to see about the Word and Excel automation. Before I start the session, please once give me a confirmation whether I'm audible or not.
Yes, madam, you are audible.
Thank you, sir. So agenda of our today's session is first we are going to see word automation. We will learn what is this word automation is, and in this we will see what is a word activities pack, and then we will see what is the difference between the word document and word activities, and in last we will and then we start the Excel automation. We learn about Excel application scope, and then we'll see Excel related activities and then data table activities. So these are the topics what we are going to cover in our today's session, right? So now the first one, word automation, right? So the word package contains multiple activities that enable you to manipulate dot docs files, right? It is possible to use them to add image to your document, read append or replace text within them, add bookmarks, etc. Right? It is important to note that all the activities under app integration category can only be used within Word application scope. Right, so this is an important point that the all the activities which is within app integration category can only be used within Word application scope. While the others here other means the activities from the Word document, while the others in the system category can be used without Word application scope. Right. So the second point is important here to notice. And then another important piece of information is that activity in the first category open the Word application while processing the given detail while processing the given detail, while the latter does the execution in the background, right? So I will explain you this point in a bit later. And again, there is one more important point is the UiPath Word Activities Pack is compatible with the following Microsoft Word versions, that is 2010, 13, 16, and Office 365. Right? So this package UiPath Word dot activities package is only compatible with 2010, 13, 16, and Office 365. Now here's the very first thing is how we can install this package, which is a Word Activities package. So now let me show you how we can do this. So create a new process, name it as A4. And here if you want you can provide the description also. Let me create this process. Okay, and then we are ready to create our process here. So let's suppose if I want to create any process related to our word files. So the very first thing is I need the activities related to our Word files. So now let me type a word here in the activity panel. And I think someone's mic is on. anyways, so as you can see, when I type word here, so in the activity panel, as you can see, I don't have any activity related to the word automation, right? So I can't automate my word files directly by typing word here. So for that purpose, to use the activity which is related to the word automation, I need to install the package for it, right? So I have already told you that how you can install the package. So to install the package, you have to move on your ribbon panel, and from here you have the option of this manage package, right? And from here, what you can do is go to the official, and from this official, now you can download the word package. So for this, just simply type word here in your search bar, and now you are able to see this package, which is uipath.word.activities by UiPath. So this is our official package, right? And a set of activities for interacting with Microsoft Word, right? So this is the package. In this package, we will get all the required activities to automate our Word files, right? Now let me install this package, save it, and let's just wait for the dependencies. Creating workspace. Adding dependencies, and done. Now our package is installed here. Now let me show you the activities related to the word automation. And as you can see, when I type word here this time, all these activities is related we can use for the word automation, right? So all these activities is from the app integration, right? App integration word, and then all these activities are here, right? Now let me also show you this from the project panel. As you can see, inside of our dependencies, now we have this uipath.word.activities package, right? So now this package is here in our dependencies, right? So this is how you can install this package. And now the difference between the Word document activity and Word activity, right? So the Word activity, to use Word activity, Word application should be installed in your system, right? I have already shown you why. And about Word document activity, using Word document activity, not required to install Word application in your system, right? Word activity, you need to keep all these activity in Word application scope, not required to Word application scope. It works separately, Word document activity, right? And again, in Word activity, it opens Word document to read text. In Word document activity, it does not open Word document to read text. Now let me show you all these points here. So these are the activity, as you can see, these are the activity is from the Word, right? From the app integration. Now let me show you Word document. So as you can see here, I have this 3 activity, which is from the Word document, right? Append text, read text, and replace text in document. Now what is the difference between these activity? For example, let's suppose if you want to read your Word file. So I'm going to show you the same activity from the app integration and the same activity from the Word document also, right? So for this, to read your Word file, you need one Word application scope. So as you can see, open a Word document and provide a scope for other Word activities. When this activity ends, the document and the Word application are closed, right? If the specified file does not exist, a new document file is created, including uipath.word.activities. So basically, if you want to use any activity related to your app integration, from your app integration, so first you have to put this Word application scope first, right? And inside of this Word application scope only you can use these activities from the app integration, right? So Here let me mention any file. So for this, first let me open the file explorer, and here let me put this. So from here let me take any file. For example, I'm choosing this file, experiment number 1, and right. So let's suppose I want to read this file. So for this I have an activity called read text activity. Right, so as you can see now, the read text activity is available inside of this app integration also, right? App integration, and now read text is also available inside of this Word document, right? So here we are going to see what is the difference between this app integration Word activities or this Word document activity. What is the difference between this read text activity and this read text activity, right? So now let me show you first this read text from the app integration. So now C2, here I have to create a variable where I want to store all this information from this file. So for this, Control plus K and 81. Then, and now to display the output, I'm going to use a message box activity. If you want, you can use write line activity also. And here let me mention my variable. Save your file and let me run this. So as you can see, when I run my process, in the background my Word file is open here, right? So this is my Word file in my background, and then I get this message box, right? Same thing what is inside of my Word document, same thing is on my message box also, right? And now let me close this message box, and as you can see, Word file is also closed from here, right? And now let me show you, take one more sequence, and here I'm going to take the same activity but from the Word document. Okay. So read text from the Word document. So for this activity, first of all, you don't need to put a Word application scope because this particular activity is not belong from the app integration. This is from the Word document. So for this activity, you don't need any parental activity, which is a Word application scope, right? So here directly you can mention the path of your file. For example, I'm going to open the same file again, right? And then here you have to create a variable to store the informations, and then to display the output I'm using message box, and here mention your variable. Save it and run it. And in this case, as you can see, no Word file is open in my background, right? I only have this message box with me with all the informations of my Word file, right? So now let me close this message box. So now this is the difference between the activity you are using from the app integration or the activity you are using from the Word document, right? So the activity was text. So this is the difference between the activity you are using from this app integration and the Word part, right? And the Word document. That these activities will open the Word file for you in the background, but these activity will not open the Word file for you in the background. So to use Word activity, and again to use Word activity, Word application should be installed in your system. Without installing this Word package, you cannot use this activity. And the second point is you need to keep all this activity in a Word application scope only. So to use these activity from the app integration, first of all, you need to put this Word application scope as a parental activity, right? And it opens a Word document to read text. And to use the Word document activity, you're not required to use the Word application scope. and also it does not open a Word document to read the text file, right? So now the very first activity is read text without Word application scope. So I have already shown you how you can read the text from the Word file without using Word application scope, or also by using the Word application scope, right? So what is the read text activity? Basically, read text activity is used to read your Word file, right? The second activity is append text activity, but before this, let me give you the introduction to the read text activity. So here I have shown you how you can use the read text from the Word app integration and the read text activity without Word application scope, right? So now let's suppose if you want to read inside of my folder, let me show you my folder. So as you can see inside of my this folder, I have multiple Word files, right? So what if you want to read all the Word files at the same time? Let me show you how you can do this. Let me create a new folder here. Copy the path from here. And inside of this sequence, what I'm going to use is assign activity, right? So inside of this assign activity, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simply call my files. For this, create an array variable for files. Change its type from string to array of a string. Array of a string, right? And then, as you all know that what we have to type here, we have to type here directory, right? Directory dot get files. And inside of this bracket, use double quotation and then paste the location of your folder, right? And that's it. And then I'm going to use one for each activity. So here we have for each activity from this control, right? And now for each items from file, right? So let me mention my file variable here. And now inside of this body, what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply use my read text activity, right? So this time, as you can see, we have two read text activity here. So if you want to use this read text activity from app integration, so as you know that you have to put Word application scope first, right? And if you want to use this read text activity from Word document, so in this case you don't have to put a Word application scope first. So I think the better thing here for this purpose, the better activity is this read text activity from the Word document, right? So I'm going to use this read text activity here. And then document path, right? So which documents you want to read. So basically we want to read all these items. Mention your items here, and here as you can see we are getting this error mark because the type of this for each activity is object. Let me convert it into a string. And now here we have to create a variable, right? So control plus K, and let's suppose the variable name is gt3, and now let me use one message box to show you the output. Or if you don't want to use output here, let's suppose if you want to merge all these files, let's suppose if you want to merge all these files, what you can do is you can use append text activity also in the place of this message box activity. I will show you how you can use the append text activity in a bit later, but first let me use the message box activity here. And inside of this message box activity, let me mention my variable. Then make sure your file is not open in your background. Save your process and run your file. So as you can see, this is my first file, right? And now let me show you my first file. Okay, so because my process is running and I'm using here this activity from the Word document. So as you know that this process will not run if the file will open in my background, right? So it is better not to open this file this time. And now this is the message box from the second file. Now let me close this file, and this is the file, right? And the message box. Now let me close this message box also. So this is how you can open your multiple files and read them, right? So read text with Word application scope. And now the next activity is append text activity. So basically this activity is used to write something in your Word file. Create a new sequence here. And now let me show you how you can use this append text activity. So for example, let's suppose if you want to write something in your Word file, so how can you directly write something in your Word file? So for this purpose, you have this activity called append text. As you can see, now we have append text activity inside of this Word also, and the append text activity from this Word document also. And now you know the difference between these two activities is in one activity you have to use the Word application scope, and for other you don't have to use Word application scope. So this time I'm going to use this Word text activity from this Word document, and from here let me just simply create one file, right? So simply I'm not going to indicate any file from this browse for file. I'm just going to simply indicate my file, right? So let's suppose demo file 123, and then the extension of your Word file, which is vucx. And then here let me type something which I want to write in this file, demo file 123, right? So let me show you. I don't have any demo 123 file in my default location, right? Let me open the default location. As you can see, I don't have any file here with this name, right? And now let me type something here. Or I can simply type let me save it and let me run it. Then now let me show you the output. So now as you can see, we have this file demo file 123 here in our default location, right? And now let me show you this file, and this is how you can write directly something inside of your Word file, right? Close this, and now let me show you the property of this file. So as you can see, new line is checked here. So if you uncheck this option, now next time whatever you are going to type inside of your Word file will start exactly after this sentence, right? For example, let me show you. So let's suppose And if I uncheck this new line from here, let me save it, let me run it. And now let me open the default location, demo file. And just because I haven't select the new line from the properties, as you can see the sentences start just after the previous sentence, right? Now let me close this word file. So this is all about your append text activity. Now let's suppose, let me, now how to convert text file into word file. So this is our next topic, is how you can convert any text file into a word file, right? Now let me show you how you can do this. Text to word conversion, right? So text to word conversion. So to convert any text file into a word file, first just let me create one text file here, right? And let's suppose, let me type something here. Save this file. Close this file. Now I have one text file here in my default location. Close this. Now how we can convert this text file into a word file? For this purpose, we have one activity here. It is a read text file activity. So as you can see, you can get this particular activity from this system, right? Inside of the system, you can get this activity, read text file activity. This activity basically help you to read your text file, select your file, and then simply use append text activity. So this is my append text activity, right, from the Word document, right? Why I am using this activity from the Word document? Because I don't want to open my Word file in my background, right? So here document path. So if you have any file here, you can select this file also, but if you don't want to select any previous file, you can simply create a new file from here, right? Simply name your file and then extension of your file, right? For example, let me just simply do word file, create a file. So, and again the extension, which is docx, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a variable for this read text file in the property panel. So Ctrl+K, and let's suppose dt1, and let me mention my dt1 variable here. So what you want to write in this word file, you want to write this dt1 from this read text file, right? Now let me save it and it's fine. Then now let me show you the output. So new word file is here, and as you can see, welcome to day 4 of FTP. Okay. Now the next topic is how we can add a picture in our Word file. So if we want to add any picture to our Word file, how can we do this? Let me show you. For this, let me create a new sequence first. And name it as a add. But before this example, let me give you one more example of this add picture, right? So to add any picture to your Word file, what you can do is take one word application scope first. So this is your word application scope. Use this here, and then you have to indicate one file here. So for example, let me indicate this demo123 file, and then after here you have one activity called add. So this is your add picture activity, and as you can see, this add picture activity is inside of this app integration, right? So you don't have this activity inside of this inside of the Word document. So for this purpose, you have to use first Word application scope, and then you can use this add picture activity inside of your Word application scope, right? And now let me picture to insert. So here you have to indicate the picture you want to insert. So for example, let me search for the pictures. So here I have some pictures with me. Let's suppose if I want to add this picture, so let me open this picture from here, and then let me see the properties. So you don't have to fill anything in the property of this, and not even in Word application scope property, right? Now let me save it, and let me done. Now let me show you the output. Here we have demo123 file, and as you can see, the picture is added in this particular file, right? And let's suppose if you want to write something in between the pictures in your Word file, so how you can do this? Again, you can use append text activity here, and here you can type something. So append text activity from this time you have to use the append text activity from the Word application scope. Append text activity from the Word application scope. Right, and here you have to add the next line. So for example, and then now let me use one more add picture from here, indicate some other picture. Let me save this, and let me run this. Save this, and now let me show you the output. So okay, so here as you can see, this last picture is after this sentence, right? And here if you want to check on this new line, you can. So this is how you can use this add picture. And create an automation to convert your Word file into a PDF file, right? Now the next example is about how you can create how you can convert your Word file into a PDF files, right? Now let me show you how you can do this.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
sorry to interrupt you, madam. Just I want to ask one question. Whatever activities we are doing with Word right now,
Yes, sir.
what is the actual use of that?
So, if you know, if you have the knowledge about this activity, you can automate any process. For example, sir, I will show you one real-time example of how you can use this activity. But once after I give you the no explanation of how you can
Because
use
see,
this
whenever
activity.
you want to create any new file, then you have to write down that program in that particular UI path, whatever you have already taught us. But if I want to now create one Word file, then I can simply type or I can just insert the pictures in a normal way. Then unnecessary, is it not the wastage of time again for creating that something in UI path and like that?
Yes, sir. So, for example, sir, we have lots of activity in this Word package, as you can see. So, if you want, you can create any real-time example also for example. Now, let me show you some examples. So, for here, I have created one example here. Let me show you.
और यू कैन टेल कि कंपनी में इसका ऑन अ लार्ज स्केल यूज कैसे होता है एक्चुअली.
So, it depends on the scenario what you want to create it, right? So, for example, here I create one file. So, in this example, what I did, let me show you. So here, for example, let's suppose I have this employee data with me in an Excel file. Let's suppose these are some names, address of these names, and job title and job location and the name of the manager. Right. So random created file, and then I have this appointment letters with me. Right. For example, let's suppose not here. Okay, template. So here I have one more folder with the name of a template, and in this template, as you can see, I have this appointment letter here. So this appointment letter is basically a template. As you can see, no current date is here, no name is here, no address is here, and dear and no name is here, right? So this is basically a template. So let's suppose your scenario is that you have to, create a appointment letter for all these employees,
ओके.
for all these employees. So it is a very time taking thing for you to update this letter again and again. So what is my job here is, what is my task here is, I have to update this appointment letter with these details, and then I have to send this template to this folder. This is the empty folder, as you can see. Then I have to send this template to this folder, and as you know that in this appointment letter folder I will create one six files. Okay, five files, right? Five Word files. So, and then after, let's suppose someone will tell you that you have to send this file to somewhere, right? So this is the additional steps. So how will you automate this process? So for this purpose, you need to know how you can use the activities from this Word document, or uh, I can say app integration from the app integrations, right? So this is the process I have created for the same purpose. Now let me show you the
The
example
appointment letters are automatically generated with that.
generated with this template, with the help of this template, right?
Okay, so that
Okay.
words are replaced by the data in the Excel sheet.
Yes, sir. Now let me show you this. By the way, sir, in my process, I have created the process like I want to open this Word file in my background, so that's so that I can show you all that how it is
Okay, okay,
working,
okay,
right?
okay.
But if you want to skip this step, like if you don't want to open this Word file in your background, this is up to you. If you want to skip this skip, you can skip this step also. And as you can see, all the files are getting updated, and again with the different names, right? So this,
Got it, madam.
yes.
Got it.
Now let me This is the third file, and now let's wait for the process. Fourth file, and okay, that's it. Now let me show you the. So from this project, let me open the default folder, and as you can see, sir, inside of my template, I have one template, but now again in this folder, appointment letter folder, I have 5 files with a different name, different person's name, and let me open the file
Yes,
for you,
yes. Got it, got it.
right?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So okay, so I was in default. Let me open my file first. D4 FTP. Okay, this was our file, and add picture. Okay, so and now let's suppose if someone will tell you that you have for example, let's suppose in our previous example, as I have shown you that you have updated so many word file, right, with the help of one appointment letter. So what if I ask you to add some more step in that particular process? If I told you that after updating your Word file, convert those file into the PDF and then send it to somewhere by using either email or WhatsApp, right? So for this purpose, the very first thing is that you should know how you can create an automation to convert a Word file into a PDF file, because this is the activity uh, which is needed in this automation. So for this purpose, now let me tell you how you can create an automation to convert your Word file into a PDF file. So new sequence, but to PDF conversion. So here the very first activity I have to use is Word application scope. So here I have this Word application scope, and inside of this, let me indicate any of my file which I want to convert into PDF. For example, I am choosing this file, and then after in this do section, what I am going to use is the activity known as save document. Yeah, this is the activity, save document as PDF, right? And then in this particular activity, first of all, it says PDF file path. So here you have to provide the path, right? So as you know that I don't have any path for my PDF file, so I'm just going to simply name my PDF file here. So for this, let me use double quotation first and PDF file. This is the name of my file, and then the extension which is a .pdf. Replace text, check the properties, seems fine, save it and run my file. Okay. So now I have shown you that how you can use this activity. First let me show you the output, and as you can see now I have one PDF file also here in my default location, right? So now my Word file is converted into a PDF file, as you can see. Now let me show you one more scenario. Let's suppose if someone will tell you that you have to convert multiple Word files into a PDF file. So how will you do that? So for this purpose, you have to create a program only for the one time, and then you can convert multiple multiple word file into a PDF, right? So for this purpose, to convert your multiple word file into a PDF, what I'm going to use here is assign activity, right? So the very first activity, I'm going to use a assign activity, and instead of this assign activity, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give the path of word files, right? Path of that folder in which my word files is, right? So here I have this folder in which I have two files here. So now let me add some more files. Now let me add this file. Now we have three files here. New doc 1, experiment number 1, and new word file. So let's suppose we have three files here in our folder, and now let me create one variable here to store the path of that particular folder. So I'm going to name my variable as path, right? And now I have to store the location, or I can say path, right? So let me open the path. Let me copy the path from here and store it. And here also I am going to add this slash, right? This backward slash in the last. Let me show you the path again. So this is the path, and here I have added this slash in the last, right? Now let me close this, and then I'm going to use one more assign activity here, because I'm going to convert the files from this path into a PDF, right? So for this purpose, I have to create one folder again. So let me create one folder first for PDF files. New folder for PDF files, right? Let me copy the path of this folder from here. Let's click here with the slash in last, and here create one variable to store this path, right? So the variable name is PDF path. And so the next, what I'm going to do is again use one more assign activity here, because in this assign activity I'm going to call all these files from this location, right? From this location. So for this purpose, in this assign activity, I'm going to create one more variable with the name of files, or I can say word file, okay? Files, hit enter, and as you know, the type of this file is array of string, because we are going to store more than one file in this variable. So array of string. Hit OK. And now in this particular file, type directory .get files, use bracket. Now let me show you from here. So yeah, directory .get files, and then here simply you can mention the variable. So word path in our case. Hit OK. Then, and now the next thing is that we have to convert all these files into a PDF, right? So for this, use one for each activity, right? And here we have for each item. So for each item from this file, right? So simply mention this file here. And now inside of this body, what you can do is here what I can do is, let me use one word application scope first. But before storing this word application scope, let me use one more assign activity here. And now let me tell you what can do in this assign activity, let me create one variable here for file names, right? Because you have to provide the file names to your PDF files, right? So what name? So here path, right? What you have to type? Let me show you from here. So what you have to type here to name your files, you have to type path dot get file name. So here in these properties, as you can see, you have this get file name. So path dot get file name, and then without, first let me put a dot here, and then without okay. Now let me first change the scope of this for each activity into a string, right? And then now let me do this again. Control and then path dot get file. So here you have path dot get file name without extension, right? So get file name without extension, and then you have to type here items, right? Because one by one you are going to name those files. So for this purpose, let me indicate items here. Then let me hit on it. And now let me show you the expression again. So this is the expression. So what you have to type to name your PDF files, path dot get file name without extension, and inside of this moon bracket you have to put the item. So this item is basically coming from here, right? And then you can use now you can use your word application scope, and inside of this word application scope I'm going to simply type item, because one by one we are going to work on each items from this file. And then inside of this do, what we can use, we all know that we have this activity with us, save document as PDF, and inside of this here what I'm going to type PDF path, right? And then plus, and then file name, so file names, and then again plus sign, and then inside of this bracket you have to provide the extension also, right, to save your files. It's very important to provide the extension in the last. Done with the no space, right? So replace existing, yes, and replace existing kit property is fine. And now what we can do is, let me save it and let me see if it will work or not. Make sure every file is closed in your platform. Let me save this and let me run this. First file open and closed, second file is open and closed, and now let me show you the output. So here we have our PDF files folder, and now as you can see we have multiple PDF files here with the document 1, experiment number 1, and the new word file with the same name, right, with the same name from here, right? So this is how you can convert your files into a PDF files, right? This is the steps. And now let me show you. Okay, so the next activity is how we can insert the table data table in documents, right? So now let me show you how you can insert the table. So for this, or we can simply say if you want to convert your Excel file into a Word file, insert table. And here, let me open the default location first, and let's see if I have any. Yeah, I have this file with me. So the very first thing what I'm going to do is read your Excel file, right? So to read your Excel file, you have an activity called read range activity from workbook. I'm going to use this from workbook because I don't want to use Excel application scope to open my file in my background, right? So that's why I'm using this read range activity from this workbook. And then you have to indicate your Word file. So my Word file, Excel file. So this is my Excel file. Let me open this file from here and delete this range because I want my bot to read my whole file. So delete the range from here. Let me create one variable here to store the output. Control plus A, and then create a variable as dt1. Then after, what we can do is we can use word application scope. And inside of this, indicate your Word file in which you want to insert your table. So for example, I have this file here, and indicate your file. Inside of this do section, what you can do is you can use activity known as insert data table in document. So here we have this activity insert data table in document from this Word, right? Take your activity and then inside of this particular activity table to insert. So which table you want to insert? Data table. So we want to insert this table, dt1. Let me mention dt1 here, and then insert relative to document and the position where you want to insert. This is up to you. If you want to insert at a start or after end of your sentence, right? So here insert relative to any document, bookmark or text. This is what you if you want to add after any bookmark, so first you have to create a bookmark there, and if you want to add your table after any text, so you have to indicate that text, and then you have this option of document. So I'm going with the option of the document, and make sure your file is not open in your background. And now let me run my file. So now let me save it and let me open. This is my file, and this is the table, right? At the starting of the Word file. Let me close it. So now we have just seen that how we can insert the data table in document, and now we can start our Excel activities, how we can deal with the Excel activities to automate our Excel files. But before this, before starting this Excel activity, now let me show you the step of my this program also, because I have just shown you that how you can automate your Word files. So now let me show you the steps what you can use to build the same process for you. So here the workflow type what I have choose flowchart. Workflow type is flowchart, and inside of this flowchart, first I have used this read range activity. Basically, this read range activity is to read my this Excel sheet in which I have the data of the employees, right? So this is a dynamic sheet. If you want to change this data or if you want to add the multiple data, you can, right? So this is totally dynamic file, and then indicate your file in this read range, right? And then you have this assign activity in which I have created a variable known as template, and inside of this template, as you can see, I have indicate my template, right? So this template is nothing but my Word file, right? So as you can see, the extension is docs here. And then one more assign activity for the process part. So basically in this particular folder, in this particular variable, I have stored that folder, the location of this folder. Let me show you process path. So process path is nothing but inside of this I have mentioned my this template here, right? So this is the template, my Word file. So simply I have mentioned the name of my appointment letter file here, and then in this for each row in data table, what I have did for each current row in employee data, this is coming from my Excel read range activity, and then I have used one copy file here, right? So inside of this copy file, you have to first indicate the template. This is nothing but a variable, and then your file. This is our file, so simply indicate your file, which is you using as a template. So basically this copy file is going to create a copy of your particular file here on your this folder, default folder, right? So once after creating a file, now let me create one file for you. First let me delete all these files from here, and let me create one file for you, because you have to create one copy file of your appointment letter file here on your default location to demonstrate the process to your bot. So here I have appointment letter as a copy, right? And then in the Word application isko use your appointment letter docs file again, but this file is from here, the copied one, right? Indicate your copied file from your default location, right? And then inside of the do section, I use here the activity push activate activity, right? So you can simply find this activate activity from here, right? So this is your activate activity. So if you want, you can skip this activity, because inside of my process, as I have shown you, that I open the Word file in my background. So if you don't want to open your Word file in your background, so you can simply skip this activity if you want, right? And now I use this activity, replace text in document. So replace text with what? Search for current date. Current date is from our template file. And replace with what? So replace with what? Here I have typed the expression, which is date time dot now dot to long date string. So this is the expression I have typed here to replace my current date with this expression, right? And again, don't forget to click on this replace all. And then after search for what? Next time search for the name from your template file, and then replace with what? Replace with the current row. This is the expression you have to mention, current row name dot toString, right? Again, search for address and replace the address with what? Current row address dot toString, right? So these are the information which is coming from our Excel files, right? And then we have this replace text in document. Search for what? Search for job title, and then replace the job title with the current row of job title from our Excel file. Then again, search for job location, replace it with the job location from the Excel file. Then the name of the manager, and replace the name of the manager from the Excel file. For this, the expression is current row manager dot toString, right? And then I have used this send hotkey for to give the shortcut key F12. And then why F12? F12 is to open the save as dialog box, right? So after this, I have checked. Here I have used element exist activity. You can find this activity from the activity panel. Simply type element exist. Right. So here you have this activity element exist. So inside of this activity, basically what I'm doing is I am just checking whether the save as box is opened or not. That's it. So if my save as dialog box is open, then I use this if activity. Inside of this, the condition is save as is exist or not. This is basically the variable coming from this element exists activity, right? So use this particular variable here in the condition of your if activity, and then inside of this then portion I use if the save as boxes exist, then type this as a name of for my updated word file. So the expression is process path dot current row name dot to string and then appointment letter. So if you want to skip this appointment letter, you can skip this. Simply you can write the process path dot current row and the name, right? Name dot to string. And then after I click on this button of save, then close the application, and in last delete your copied file, right? So whatever, let me show you the copy file. In last it will delete this appointment letter file, right, from here. Now let me delete this file. Appointment letter is empty. Template, we have a template here, and that's it. So this is how you can create this step, to update your word files, right? And I have already shown you that how this process will work, so that's why I'm not going to run this file again to show you the process again. So this is the word file, and now we can start our next topic, which is Excel activities, right? So the very first activity inside of our Excel activity is Excel application scope. Before this, let me create one new process from here. Before, and if you want, you can provide the description also. Create this process. And let's just wait for our studio to open. And now we are ready to drop the activities here, right, in our workflow page, right, or I can say workflow panel. So okay, so we are talking about the Excel activity. So now if you want to use Excel activity, let me show you one more thing. Here we have this project panel, and inside of this project panel, as you can see, inside of this dependencies, you have this Excel activity package here, right? In case of when you are dealing with the word automation, you don't have any package related for your word activities, but in case of when we want to use the Excel related activities, we already have one package here, the default package, right? Let's suppose if you don't have this package, again what you can do is simply download this package from this official, and here you have to simply type Excel, right? And from here you can download this package uipath.excel.activities by UiPath. Simply install it and save it. But in my case, as I already have this package, I'm not going to install it again. So this is the dependencies, right? This is all about the dependencies. And now let me show you the Excel activities. Simply type Excel in your activity panel, and from here, as you can see, we have lots of activities inside of our Excel, right? Or I can say app integration, Excel automation. We have these activity, right? Now let me show you. We have one activity here, Excel application scope, as you can see, right? So if you want to use any of these activity which is inside of this app integration and Excel, you can use these activity only inside of this Excel application scope, right? Because this is the parental activity. This is going to work as a parent for all these activities. So you can't use these activity if you don't use this Excel application scope, right? And again, same thing. For example, let's suppose here I have this read range activity from this Excel, and now let me show you read range activity. So here you have the read range activity from the workbook also, And I'm sure that you all know the difference between this activity and this activity is when you are using this activity from the app integration, or I can say Excel, you have to use the Excel application scope first. But if you want to use the read range activity from this workbook, then you, in that case, you don't have to use this Excel application scope, right? Now let me open my slide again. So what is this Excel application scope? All Excel related activities are worked under Excel application scope only. So whatever the activities you are going to work should be under the Excel application scope. Okay. Third point is adding the Excel application scope activity inside the sequence, which actually creates an Excel file in the UiPath directory, right? And then the very first activity in Excel application scope itself is a activity, right? So the next activity inside of our Excel automation is the read range activity, and I'm sure that you all know how you can use the read range activity, because we have seen the use of this activity from our in our yesterday session also. So what is this read range activity? It is a part of this particular package, which is a uipath.excel.activities.excel read range. Again, it reads the value of an Excel range and stored it in a data table variable, right? So whatever variable you are going to create for this read range activity is of type of data table, right? And then can only be used inside of the Excel application scope activity only if you are using this read range activity from the app integration, right? But if you want to use this read range activity from the workbook, you don't have to use the Excel application scope, right? Now the next one is write range activity. So it is a part of this package. Next point, it writes the data from a data table variable in a spreadsheet starting with the cell indicating in the starting cell field, right? So it is basically this activity is used to write something in your Excel sheet is starting with this cell. So if you want to change this range, you obviously you can, but whatever let's suppose if you type B1, so it is going to start typing from the B1 cell, right? And particular this activity is can only be used inside of the Excel application scope activity only if you are using this activity from the app integration. Again, the same thing, if you are using this particular activity from the workbook, you don't have to use the Excel application scope in that case. Now let me show you an example in which I'm going to use this read range and write range activity, right? So let me open the studio. So here what I'm going to do is, let me show you. So here I have one folder, and in this folder what I'm going to do, I have this Excel sheet with me, right? So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take data from one Excel sheet, which is this, and copy it to another Excel sheet, right? Based on some condition. We are going to copy these data to the other sheet. As you can see, I don't have any sheet here in my Excel file. I'm going to copy this data to other Excel sheet, but depend on some condition. So what the condition is? Condition is if the salary of these employees is greater than 80,000, then only it will copy. If the salary is lesser than 80,000, then it will not copy the name of that employee to the other sheet. So this is the condition, right? The salary must be greater than the 80,000, right? So now let me close this file, and the name of this file is demo1. Let me open my studio, delete all this unwanted activity from here. And how you can create the steps for this process. So the very first thing what you have to do is, first you have to read your file, right? So to read my file, I'm going to use read range activity from here. So read range from Excel. So if I will use this read range from my Excel, as you all know that it will open the Excel file also in a background. So I don't want to open Excel file in my background. So that's why I'm going to use this read range activity from this workbook, right? So use this read range activity from your workbook, and now what you simply have to indicate your file. So my file is on my desktop. Let me open my desktop and Excel, and this is my file demo1. Then, and now sheet 1 is fine. The name of my sheet is sheet 1. Let me check also. So as you can see, the name of this sheet is sheet 1. Let me open my studio again, and now let me delete this range so that our bot can read all the sheet, right? Then, and select it, create a variable to store this information, add header. Make sure to check this add header every time when you are using this read range activity. Now control plus K, and here I'm going to create a variable as employee details. And now take one more read range activity here, and inside of this this particular activity, what I'm going to do is, again I'm going to, let me delete this range here from here, and now again let me indicate the same file. Same file, same sheet name. Again just simply create a variable here as result. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use one more activity here known as clear data activity. Right. So this particular activity, clear data table activity, is used to clear your data table, right? As its name suggests, right? So here, as you can see, I have used this read range, and in this read range, basically here I have created one variable in which I store the information of the same sheet. Again, I have this different variable in which I have stored the same information, right? Same information, these two variables. But here for this result variable, I'm going to use this clear data table activity so that I will clear the data table from this variable, and only the left thing is header lines, right? And now in this clear data table, mention the data table which you want to clear. So I want to clear this data table, right? So for this purpose, I'm going to indicate my variable here, result, inside of this clear data table. And now let me use one for each row. So for each row in data table activity, right? So basically this particular activity is used whenever you want to automate the rows of your data table, right? So for each current row in employee data, employee details, this is from here, employee details. And now inside of this body, you can use one if activity. Use your if activity here, and here what I'm going to do, first of all, the very first thing I'm going to do is cint to convert into the integer. And what you have to convert into the integer, you have to convert the current row salary. So I'm going to copy the salary from here because the name of this column is salary. Copy this name, paste it here. Right, and then dot toString, and then is if salary is greater than 80,000. So this is my condition, 80,000. And then okay, so I think let me check the mistake. String to double, okay. So for this, go back to your for each row in data table activity. let me open this expression again and let me check the expression. C int, then current row, then salary, and I have closed the bracket from here. Mistakes on your decision conversion string to double. Employee details, data table. Anyways, let me continue the process and let me add data row. Use one add data row here. In which row you want to use here is inside of this array row, right? And inside of this array row, which row I want to use here is current row, and then current row of employee ID, copy this, paste it, and then again current row, and this time the first name, again current row, this time for the last name, again for the salary. Leave all this what's from here. Okay. So if activity is showing me the error, then instead of this body, I use this if activity and let me type it again. Enter the baby expression, and here I want to enter C int. I don't know why it was showing me the error at the very first time, but as you can see, the edit is gone and the expression is the same, right? We have converted this particular column in C in first, and then dot to string to for this if activity, and then we have indicated our condition, which is this particular column is greater than 80,000, right? And then use your add data row activity. In this particular activity, I have mentioned all the rows which I want to add in the other sheet, and now in which data table you want to add this row is, I want to add this rows in this result, right? Done. And then what you have to use next is right range activity, right? So because we want to write now, so use your right range activity from here. After for each row, let me delete this from here, let me minimize this, and let me use the right range activity here, right? And here what you can do, right range from workbook, right? So right range from workbook. Now the workbook part, so I want to write in the same file. So if you want to write these data into other file, so you can simply create the other file, but let's suppose I want to use the same file again. So I'm using the same file, and now here you can change the name of the sheet as sheet 2, and here the range, the starting range is A1, which is fine. Let make sure to click on this add header, and now here you have to indicate the variable which you want to write inside of this particular file, right? Now let me save it, close your file, and run this process. So now let me show you the output. So as you can see, now I have this sheet 2 here in my file, and inside of this sheet 2 I have only two name here whose salary is greater than 80,000, right? Greater than 80,000. So this is the steps you can create if you want to check, if you want to apply the condition to your Excel sheets, right? Now let me open my slide again. So this is done. Now the next activity is write cell activity. So write cell activity is basically write a values or formula into a specified spreadsheet cell or a range, right? So this is why we can use write cell activity. Next, if the sheet does not exist, a new one is created with the name specified in the sheet name property. If the value exists, it override, and change are immediately saved, can only be used in the Excel application scope activity, right? So now let me show you how you can use the write cell activity if you want to implement any formula in your spreadsheet, right? So for this, let me create one new sequence for write cell. Right? So here let me show you, I have one sheet. So let's suppose I have this sheet with me, and here you have two information, one is for the product and one is for the price. Now what if you have to add the price here, and let's suppose in future this is a dynamic file, so if you want to add the datas here, and if you want to add the product here, and in last you have to add all these price, right? So how you can create the process to add them? So for this, the very first thing, let me open the activity panel, pin it here, and first what I'm going to use is Excel application scope. Right? Use your Excel application scope here, and here you can indicate your file. So this is my file, sum of single column in a dynamic manner, right? So this is my file, and now inside of this two section, what we have to use is read range. Right? So because we are using Excel application scope here, that's why I'm going to use read range from the Excel only. And sheet 1, let me check the name of my sheet. So as you can see, this sheet is sheet 1, and sheet 2 is empty, and sheet 3 is empty. So sheet 1, right? And then you can delete this range. Now create a output as a DT1, and now you can use one for each row in data table activity here. So now for each current row in DT1, right? So for each row in this particular data table, and inside of this body, I'm going to use one assign activity. Use one assign activity here, and here what I'm going to do first, the very first thing what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a counter here, right? So counter, to create a counter, you have to open a variable panel first, create a variable which is a, and let's suppose its type is integer, and then scope, I'm going to choose the highest scope, and then default value is 0. And similarly, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more variable here as a b, and type integer, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to again choose the highest scope, right? Inside of this assign activity, let me mention my a variable here, and then again a plus what? A plus, first we have to convert into the integer, and then current row. This current row is coming from the Excel sheet, that's why we have to convert this first into the integer format, and then current row. Let me change the, let me see if everything is fine here. Let me open it from here first, right? So here I forget to close the brackets, so make sure to close your brackets also, right? And then let me hit on OK. Then take one more assign activity. Inside of this assign activity, indicate your second variable, which is a b, and this variable I'm creating this variable just only to create the index. Now here what I'm going to type is dt1 dot rows, and then dot index of current. So basically this variable is going to show you the index of your current rows. Okay. And now let me show you the output of this a and b variable first, right? Now let me show you the output of these variables first, a, and here I'm showing you the output of b. So basically this variable will show you the additions of this rows, right? One by one it will show you the addition of these rows, and this b variable will show you the index of each rows from here, right? One by one, right? Now let me save it, close this Excel file, and run the file. Right, so here as you can see, this is the message box, and it is showing 100, right? Now it will show me the index of this row. So the index of this particular row is 0, as you can see, right? So the index of this row is 0. Hit OK. Now 100 plus 200 is 300, addition of these two rows, and now it will show you the index of these two rows. So the index of this row is particular, this row is 1. Now the addition of these three row is this, and then the index of this particular row is 2, right? Addition is this, and then row of index of this row is 3. Similarly, addition up to here is this, and row of this cell is 4. Addition and index, as you can see, 5, and addition of this up to this row, and the index of this row is 6, right? That's it. So this is what the a and b variable is doing. Now let me delete this message box from here. I only use this message box to display you why I'm using this a and b variable. Now last, let me close this Excel application scope, but let me minimize this, right, for each row. And then after, in last, we want to write the output. So for this I'm going to use write cell activity, right? Write cell from the Excel. So we want to write our output in sheet 1 only, and here what you want to write, so we want to write the additions. So a dot toString. Now where you want to write, this is the important, where you want to write it, in this cell. So for this, what you have to type here is, instead of this double quotation, first indicate B, and then plus, and then B plus 3, and then dot toString. So now let me show you. It is b plus 3 dot toString, right? Save it. No Excel file is open in my background. That's it. Now let me run this file. Now let me show you the output. So as you can see, the sum of all these prices is 10937, right? And let's suppose in the same file, if I increase the data, right? So now the data is increased, as you can see, and the product, if you want to increase the product also, you can do this also. So let me select them and let me copy it, right? So now the product and price, both I increased both the data, right? Now let me save this file, close this file, and run this process again. So this time, so now as you can see, the addition of all these prices 3693, right? So this is how you can create a process for your dynamic files also, if you want to add the price, right? Now let me show you one more example. So this is how we can use write cell activity to write a formula in our desired cell, right? Now the next one is the data table activities, and in the data table activities, as you can see, we have lots of data table activities like add data column, add data row, build data, clear. So I have shown you many of these activities, and here we have first build data table, add data row, output data table, lookup. So now let me show you how you can use these data table activities also. For this, let me create a new sequence here. So here let me type data table and create this process. Then in this example, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you all the data table activities, not all, but I will try to cover most of the data table activities, right? So to show you the data table activities, first let me type the data here in the activity panel, and as you can see, we have so many activities inside of our data table, right? So now I'm going to show you how you can use these activity to create or to work on your Excel files. So the very first activity what I'm going to use is build data table. So here we have build data table. From the data table, use this activity here. So this particular activity is basically used to create a data table in Studio, right? So if you want to create your table inside of your Studio, you can do that by using this build data table activity. So simply hit on this button, data table, right? And here as you can see, we have a columns and then we have this rows. So now let me clear this pop-up first, and now I'm going to clear all these things. Now I'm going to create one data table here. So for this, click on this plus icon, and now you can create your own column, right? So for example, let's suppose my column name is name, type is a string, and then all the default value. Then one column is created. Now let me create some more columns, like one is for age. Age is integer and all the default value, hit OK. Now let me create one more column here for his cell, right? And the type of the salary is integer, again hit OK. So now I have created three column here as an employee name. As you can see, employee name is in a string, age integer, salary integer, right? Now the next one is we have to add some data. So for example, let's suppose Ram. Here we have to provide the age as 2 and salary. So let's suppose his salary is 3,000 and hit enter. And then after create this table. His age is 25 and his salary is 4,000. And then his salary is let's suppose 1,000. And now we have food cream. And this is 30 and salary is. Right, so now we have created one data table by using this build data table activity. So this particular activity is basically used to create a data table inside of our Studio, right? Now if you want to display this data table, how can you display this? So as you can see, the variable, let me create one variable here, Control plus K, and let me create a variable as a dp1. So as you can see, the type of this variable is a data table, right? So which means you cannot display this data table simply by using a message box activity. If you use the message box activity, you cannot display this directly here in this message box activity. Let me try to display it. So as you can see, I'm okay. Let me run this. So as you can see here, in the message box it is saying data table name, but no data is in my message box, right? Now let me hit OK. So to display the data table in message box, what you have to use, the very first thing is output data table activity, right? So this activity basically convert this data table into a string format. Right, so here the input is dt1, right? Input is dt1, and now the output, because we are going to convert this data table into the string, so I'm going to create here result. So control plus k first to create a variable, and then result. And now you can mention result here in your message box and save it, run it. As you can see, now I am able to see all the data present inside of my data table, right? And so this is the use of output data table activity. This is how you can use the output data table activity. Build data table, output data table. Next one is add data row activity. Now let me show you how you can use add data row activity also. But before this, let me complete this process. So now I am going to, if you want, you can disable this message box also, because this message box is not required for us in this process. If you also want to disable this particular activity also, you can simply by hitting Ctrl plus D from your keypad, right? So the next activity what I am going to use here is for each row activity, right? So in this activity I am going to indicate my dt1 variable, right? So dt1, and inside of this body what I'm going to use, I'm going to show you another data table activity which is known as get row item. So this is our activity, get row item. So as its name suggests, with this activity will fetch the rows for you from your data table, right? So in this activity what I'm going to do, here in the row simply indicate your current row on which you are going to work, and then here inside of this I'm going to select this name and the name of my column, right? So the name of my first column is, from where I want to fetch the data, is the employee name, right? Employee name. And then here I have to create a variable. So let me create a variable as employee name again, right? Now I'm going to use two more get rows activity to fetch all the data. So get row item. Again use get row item here and get row item here. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fetch all the rows information from my data table. Right. So this thing, again mention your current row. Current row, and then inside of this again name, and name of my column is age, and here I have to create a variable to store the ages. So I'm going to create a variable as age or age, right? Now let me change the type of this variable from string to integer, right? And let me also change the scope. I'm going to select the highest scope. Again current row, name, and here the name of our column. So the last column is for the salary, and here inside of this value I'm going to create a variable. So the name of my variable is salary, right? And let me change the type of this variable from string to integer. Then now I'm going to apply a condition here. So the condition, for to apply a condition I need one if activity, and inside of this if activity you can type the ages if the age of employee is greater than 25, and so for and you can simply type and salary salary is greater than 1000, then what you have to do, use a message box, and instead of this else you can use a message box here also, right? So in then section it will display me the employee name whose age is greater than 35 and whose salary is greater than 1000, and then plus sign, and then you can pass your string. Let me save it and let me run this file. So now it is going to show me only the name of those employees who will satisfy the condition from our data table. So Ram satisfies the condition, Shyam does not satisfy the condition, Radhika does not, Rohit satisfy the condition. Right. So this is how you can use your build data table, output data table, and other. So let's suppose in this same example, what if you want to, what if you want to add one more rows or column, because our next activity is about add data row, right? So how you can do this? Let me open my studio first to show you. So the very first thing I'm going to use here is input dialog box. So in this input dialog box, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask my user if he want to add a row in this previous data table or not, right? So for this purpose, I'm going to type here enter, I can say select true or false, and here is select your option, and then here MCQ, multiple choice, and then from the options provide them options to choose only either true or false. Okay. And then let me hit on OK. Then create a variable here to store his result. So I'm going to name this variable as a flag. And then after this input dialog box, what I can use is to check the condition. So in this condition, what I'm going to type simply if flag is equal to true. And again, let me change the type of the flag variable from string to boolean, because in this variable I want to check whether it is true or not. Right. So now in this then section, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one add data row. If we will choose true, add data row. Right. So in this add data row, what I'm going to do, from here in the property array row, so here we can create the rows which we want to add. So for example, I want to add the rows as the name of the employee is Swati, and his age is 29. So age of Swati is 29, which means it is an integer, so we don't have to put it inside of the quotation mark. And the salary is 7,000. Let me hit on OK. Added the row. So we have added the row. So now we have to mention in which data table you want to add this row. So I want to add this row in this data table, which is DT1. So mention your DT1 here in which you want to add the row. Then and okay, so now we have completed all the steps. Now let me save this. I have used output data table here, and now let me enable this message box here. And then let me disable this activity from here because I don't want to use this steps again. So to disable this activity, Control plus A. Okay. And now let's see if it will add the rows in my process already. So please select your option true. I want to add the row. So as you can see, the information of Swati is added here after Rohit, right? So this is how you can use the data tables activity. This is all from my side for the today's session. Now please, now you can ask your queries. Any queries?
Thank you, Subra ma'am. Participant having any queries? Kindly ask.
Hello.
Participant having any doubt? Kindly ask. Thank you, ma'am, for such a wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you all participants for joining. And tomorrow's session is start at sharp 10:30 a.m. And I declare that today's session is over. Thank you.